So since I started mountain biking, there's been one thing I've never really been that great at, and that is tuning my suspension. Whenever I get my suspension serviced or I get a new bike, I know roughly where to put my suspension settings for my weight, and then I kind of just leave it at that and say that'll do, and I never really fine tune it. Luckily though, there is a device that people like me can buy, which makes life a little bit easier when you're not that clued up on suspension. So here it is here. It's a Shockwiz. So basically what I'm doing today is I got this attached to my forks. I've been out for one ride with it already last week. So I'm going to check the app just now and see what it tells me to change them. I'm going to take them up and ride down some of the trails that are here. These trails are actually the trails that I help build and maintain, so I know them really well, and I feel like these are good trails to test my suspension on because I know them quite well and should be able to ride them quite fast as well. So at the moment, this is what it's telling me to do. It's telling me that my air pressure is actually low. So I'm going to put some more air in my fork. It's telling me I need to remove a spacer as well. I don't actually have the tools or the time to do that at the moment, so I'm just going to ignore that one for the time being. And it's telling me I need to make my low speed compression a bit softer. But the other settings, they're all okay, so doesn't look like I have to change much on the forks anyway. Hopefully going to get the Shockwiz onto the shock later on today as well. So 1, 2, 3. So here we are at the top. This is the 3 trails we have here. Probably going to start off with the middle one there. It's the least difficult of the 3, but it's also probably my least favourite, if I'm being honest. Definitely does need a little bit of maintenance, but we'll get that sorted at some point. One thing I forgot to show you at the start of the video. Have a look at this. So basically crashing is not an option today. As you can see there, it actually does clash with the underside of the frame, which means if I crash and my bars turn that way, that's probably going to damage the Shockwiz and also the fork as well, so I'll have to be quite careful. So enough chat, time to drop in and get riding. So this one is called Wormlet. Like I said before, it's probably the least skady one here, so it's a good one to warm up on. Not too much on it, it's kind of a natural one we kind of scraped in. There's a little bit of building here and there, but not an awful lot. Yeah, definitely there. It feels a bit more bumpy than it used to when we first scraped it in. Definitely there. Little natural jump there. Right, that's Wormlet done. So we're now dropping into Wriggly Worm, which is the lower section of the same track. This one is completely different from the top. Yeah, rocky in places. Go off the drop, cat up to the left here, it gives you a better line into this corner. Quite dark actually, thought it was going to be a bit lighter than this. I need to get these corners quite good because there is a jump there off that route. So this is why I wanted to ride these trails with the Shockwiz because I know them like the back of my hand. So this is where it gets a bit steeper now. Oh, this is the worst section of the whole track. I fucking hate it, to be quite honest. That route's there. Not too bad just now in the dry, but in the wet, Jesus, they are brutal. Right, back up at the top after that first run down. It's telling me my low speed compression is now bob on. It's in the perfect settings, so that's good. Still telling me that my air pressure is slightly low. I'm going to take that with a pinch of salt though, because it also says I need to remove a volume spacer. So I think the best thing to do is to leave the air pressure until I get that volume spacer removed and then adjust it then. So I'm going to do one more run with the Shockwiz on the fork, and then I'm going to get it onto the shock and see what that's saying. So right, next trail. This one's called Eddie Was an Eagle, and it's called that because of this ski jump coming up. This is the main / original track on this hill, and it's a really good one. This is quite a techie bit here. A lot of jumps on this one, a lot of them. Have to squash this one. Into the rock garden. Whoa, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Really quite tiring with all the jumps and things. Can never quite clear that one. You've got to be on it. A steep section. This is the steepest part of the hill here. Over the rock. Up high on the roots here, it gives you a better line at this corner. Phew. Oh. So unfortunately I have hit a bit of a snag trying to fit this Shockwiz to the shock of my e-bike. Because of the way the shock is positioned in the frame, there's actually nowhere to mount this without it clashing with anything. Let me just show you. So yeah, that's my shock. It's got a piggyback chamber there at the bottom, and there's literally you're supposed to mount it up here, but there's literally nowhere I can mount it on that without the Shockwiz hitting the frame as it goes through its travel, or hitting the piggyback chamber as it goes through its travel. So yeah, I'll not be using this to set up my shock, unfortunately. Right guys, so we're back up to the top. Got the Shockwiz reattached to the fork. Really wanted to get the shock done as well, but there may possibly be a way to mount it, but I certainly wasn't going to be able to do it at the bottom of the trail. I'll have to go home and see if I can suss out a way, because if I try to attach that there down at the bottom, guaranteed something would have went wrong. So I've just put it back on the fork, and I'm going to do the third and final trail we've got here and see what the settings are saying. I'm definitely going to have to remove a volume spacer when I get home from the forks as well though, because it's consistently telling me that. So this next trail is called Falling Without Style, and the top section of it is our newest trail here. We built this back at the start of this year, so it's pretty new. Right, Falling Without Style, let's get into it. Steep down at the start there. First jump out the way. Oh, this is riding so much better than when we first built it. It was quite slow before. Up for the drop off. Whoa. Then we're into quite a steep chute. Oh, wow. An absolute chore on the e-bike, to be honest, and that steeper stuff. So that's the top section done, and we just traverse over for a bit, and then we come into the lower section. It's going to be a little bit darker down here. Oh, quite rough through there. I've got that one wrong a few times and it's not fun. Into the elevator drop. Yeah, quite a steep chute, that one. Good berms at the bottom to catch you though. So stay inside here and down. Yeah, I like this section a lot. This one's got loads of support in it. A proper Schralpy one, if you're into that sort of thing. There we go. Over the other jump. This is where it gets quite hard to see where the trail is. Luckily I know it well. There we go, guys. So, you guys want to see a view? Wait till you see this one. Not bad, eh? This one never gets old. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, guys. I'm going to go for one more run, but you've seen all the trails that are here, so you don't really need to see them again. I would have liked to get the Shockwiz onto my shock, but unfortunately things didn't work out. But no matter, I'm going to go home and see if I can figure something out with it. But if not, then it's not the end of the world. I've still got to do my Ibis Ritmo with the Shockwiz as well, so I'll need to get that done as well. So thanks for sticking it out for this long, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.